Seems like the main premise this week here on the channel has been the failure of people and organizations to learn from their mistakes. We've talked about it with ESPN, talked about it this morning with the New Orleans Pelicans. What we're about to talk about, though, is inexcusable. This is absolutely ridiculous. There is a preponderance of evidence available that shows if you decide to go woke, as Clay Travis likes to say all the time, you go broke. Woke politics is a disease that destroys everything it touches. It's killing the NBA. The NBA finals right now are struggling to draw an audience. NBA ratings for the regular season are down over 50% since 2011. Far left politics are hurting Major League Baseball. Their All-Star game just drew near record low ratings. Woke news channels, CNN, MSNBC, record low ratings. Outside of basketball, everything that LeBron James gets involved with tanks. His new movie, Space Jam 2, disaster. With all this evidence, you would think these people would wake up, no pun intended. You would think they would realize that people don't want political and social justice messaging involved in their sports. Up until a few years ago, I thought the NFL was untouchable. The NFL's always been my favorite sports league. Always. I love the NFL. I've always thought that they were untouchable. I didn't think there was anything that could hurt the NFL. The love of football in this country is so strong. So many people are emotionally tied to it that I've always thought it was invincible. In the past, nothing hurt NFL ratings. Ray Lewis goes on trial. Doesn't matter. Ray Rice caught on tape beating the hell out of his wife. Doesn't matter. All the controversy surrounding concussions 10 years ago and player safety. Doesn't matter. The NFL can make it through anything. The NFL used to be a patriotic league, just like the NBA and Major League Baseball used to be. Roger Goodell has kind of acquiesced at times. He's kind of allowed the NFL to dip its toes in the woke pond here and there. But for the most part, he has tried to keep politics out of football. Last year, he allowed the demonstrations and the Black National Anthem to be played during week 1. After that, it was strictly football. NFL ratings were down a bit last season, but it was nothing critical. They didn't have a mass exit of their audience like the NBA experienced. That is about to change. Roger Goodell is setting up the NFL for a massive, massive decline. Earlier this week, the league released the news that before every game this season, the Black National Anthem would be played. Along with that, they're going to increase the amount of social justice messages. Now, examples of these messages include, but are not limited to, messages on the field, signage and helmet decals, and public service announcements. This is all part of the Inspire Change initiative. This is a 10-year, $250 million commitment by the NFL to fight racism here in America. Didn't we see this same movie last summer with the NBA? What the hell is going on here? Was Roger Goodell asleep last summer? Did he believe the media and think that NBA ratings crashed because they were playing in a bubble? Does Roger Goodell believe the media and think the NBA is surging right now? I mean, I'm confused. It doesn't take a Rhodes Scholar to figure this out. Has Roger Goodell not noticed that the NBA put a stop to the social justice messaging? Did he miss the interview with Adam Silver last year during the finals when he basically admitted that politics hurt the league's ratings and they were getting away from politics and back to basketball? Did he miss that? I guess Roger Goodell is taking it upon himself to take over the woke politics and social justice agenda from the NBA. If they don't want to be the woke league anymore, we will take over for them. I'm sure they'll use the same excuse the NBA did. We're doing this to inspire unity. How in the hell does playing 2 national anthems inspire unity? If anything, it inspires division, which is exactly what the wokers want. If they can keep all of us divided, they maintain control. What's next, though? What's next? Are we going to have to start playing the Chinese national anthem at NBA games? We're going to have to start playing the German national anthem? If this is all about being inclusive, making everyone feel included and loved, why don't we go ahead and play every national anthem? Canadian, Cuban, Jamaican, Mexican? Let's have them all. The damn pregame will be longer than the game itself. But that's okay because everyone will feel included. This is going to be disastrous for the NFL. I believe we're going to see ratings drop 20 to 30% for the regular season at minimum. This decision by Roger Goodell reeks of stupidity. You can come up with a lot of words to describe Roger Goodell. Stupid is not one of them. He's a smart dude. You don't become commissioner of the NFL by being a dummy. So why is he doing this? With all the evidence available that shows Americans don't want politics in their sports, and they damn sure don't want woke politics in their sports. With the abundance of evidence available, why would Roger Goodell allow this to happen? I'll give you my theory. This all has to do with ESG. Now, we briefly touched on this before on the channel. It's been a while, but we've added a lot of new subscribers since then, so we're going to go over it again. I would imagine that most of you probably have never heard of ESG before. That's because the mainstream media doesn't do their jobs. ESG stands for Environmental, Social, and Governance. It's basically a new credit rating for businesses, and the long-term goal is to implement it personally too. Long-term, they want all of us to have an ESG score, just like everyone has a credit score. The ESG rating grades businesses on their stance on the environment. In other words, are they actively fighting the myth of climate change? It grades companies on social justice. In other words, are you woke? Is your company systemically racist? Are you fighting systemic racism? If your business receives a low ESG score, it makes it damn near impossible for you to stay in business. Why? Well, because banks will refuse to lend you money, vendors won't give you credit, some vendors may choose not to sell products or services to you altogether. So if you're a company that's in distribution and you don't have products to distribute, you're out of business. So what does this mean for the NFL? Well, if the NFL took a stand and refused to go woke, they risk losing advertisers. They could lose lines of credit. The media would turn against them. It could even get to a point where they could lose their television deals. Now you might be thinking, that's crazy. The NFL is the biggest ratings draw in the country. They would never lose their TV deals. Oh, it could happen. It could happen. Businesses are essentially being forced to comply with ESG. If they don't comply, they'll be out of business. Now, that's just my theory on why Roger Goodell and the NFL are doing this. But if you really think about it, it makes sense. The media has crucified the NFL for years for their supposed bias against African Americans. Jemele Hill, queen of social justice, she just released a documentary on Vice about the plight of the black quarterback. You and I both know the NFL's not racist. Majority of their highest paid players are black. But wokers never let facts get in the way of pushing their agenda. You know that. Complying with ESG makes sense. Why the hell else would the NFL be doing this? They've basically been backed into a corner. I don't know how many of you guys watch conservative media outlets, but I want to challenge you to do something. I've never given you guys homework or challenged you to do something before, but I want you to do this. Take an hour out of your day, 30 minutes to an hour, and watch Fox News, The Blaze, Newsmax. I don't care if you watch the programming. What I want you to do is watch the commercials. If you do, you will quickly notice something. All three of those channels show the same types of commercials. My Pillow, advertisements from Wounded Warrior, other military type commercials, PSAs for conservative causes or politicians. Why do you think that is? Because mainstream companies won't sponsor them. Why? ESG. If you don't believe me about ESG, Google it for yourself. Go to the website of Target, Walmart, Coca-Cola. Pick a Fortune 500 company. Pick a bank. Pick a pharmacy. Look at the menu bar on their website. Every one of them will have a section on ESG and what they're doing to comply. This is real, and this is happening. It's the reason I believe that the NFL is bowing down. The NFL is powerful, don't get me wrong. But if NBC, Fox, CBS, ESPN, Amazon, YouTube, if the NFL had a poor ESG score and all of those networks and platforms refused to do business with them, what would the NFL do? They'd take their games to another network. Oh yeah, which one? Which one? Most of your television channels are owned by one of 5 companies. Go look it up. Warner Media, Viacom, NBC Universal, News Corp or Fox, Disney. Those 5 companies own television media. So that's just my theory. Time to let me know what you think. Give me your theory as to why the NFL is doubling down on their wokeness. Will the league's decision to play the Black National Anthem and implement social justice messaging, will this cause you to boycott the NFL this season? Will it cause you not to watch? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com. KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.